artists that are, the hip-hop artists, they pay the price, and they don't realize there's a higher law that they have to pay the price of.
What do you mean by that, Tevin?
Well, we're all here, by design. We all believe in the Creator, and we all have a responsibility, to that Creator. So when we're expressing ourselves through the hip-hop nation, the artist pays the price.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, in a certain respect. But what do you think about the whole East Coast versus West Coast thing? Do you think this is just, this is like a rivalry to sell records? Do you think this is a bad example for young people when they see, as Grace, our previous caller, had mentioned, when they see the celebrities, the hugely famous, these big stars that they look up to and emulate, pulling out guns or being associated with violence or being arrested?
Yeah, I think it passes the wrong message to the young. It passes the wrong message about the hip-hop nation. What it's going to do is justify politicians to force hip-hop back underground.
Okay, that's definitely a point. Tevin, thanks a lot for the call. Kevin, let me ask you this: you've interviewed a lot of famous people. When you were doing the story on Death Row and you were talking to the different artists, what about was there a sense of the importance that they have of how much young people in particular look up to them?
Snoop understands, because Snoop is going through a lot of changes since the first time I interviewed him back in 93, you know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously being on trial for murder right now, that's going to make you think about a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? Because he might be spending some time in jail, And I think he understands, and I think on a certain level, Dr. Dre understands, but I'm not sure. I don't think Suge understands. You know what I mean? It's just like, he'll make the argument, what's better, kids out there actually gang banging and stuff like that, or them rapping about it on record. I'm like, be honest with you, man, if it's going to have a whole bunch of other kids influencing a whole bunch of kids who ain't rappers doing certain things, then I don't think it's that correct. After a while, it's just like it gets ill. It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, we should be talking about the realities going on in our community, but at the same time, if you never say, well, this is just a record and we ain't really trying to, tell y'all to do that, and in fact, if you start to get a reputation as someone who's out there doing that stuff yourself, you're adding to the problem as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Can I pose a question?
Yeah, Pugy, go ahead.
Kevin said, it's just a record. Now, my thing is, we're just making records. I mean, like he said, it was fun. So what happened to the days, Roxanne, Shantae, UTFO, they diss UTFO, and that's it. It's just a record. They just a wow. Now it's like, you got Madonna and Janet and Whitney, but it never becomes Virgin Records versus Warner Brothers. I mean, it's like, when a rapper gets dissed here from the West Coast, they're like, yeah, that West Coast kid dissed me instead of such and such, and they keep it on a personal basis.
Right.
Are you saying it's more like a gang mentality?
Yeah, it's like they want to bring everybody into it, like they can't handle their own, kind of.
Okay, that's a way of looking at it. Let's go to Aaron right now. Aaron, hi, you're on Street Soldiers. What's up? Aaron, are you there? Okay, let's try Raul. Raul, hi, you're on Street Soldiers. What's up?
Yeah,
I
want to say with this rivalry, it's the fans that really get denied because the quality of music gets cheapened. It's because of the West Coast blowing up. That's how the East Coast got on top again. They started freestyling on mixtapes again, and, that brought the quality of lyrics back on top. And, and we use each other's slangs, chronic, player hater, 9 pound, 9 tray. Those are all West Coast slangs, but in the East Coast you hear brothers shining too, using the same slang. So I think it's the fans that's being denied with all this bickering, And Brother Powell, you mad on point. I just don't like that word tribalism, but I can understand why you're using it,
right.
But it's the fans that get denied, because I'm an MC, and when I'm in a cipher, as long as you got skills, that's all that matters. It don't matter if you come from Brooklyn or Staten Island.
Right.
It's the skills that do the talking.
Right.
So we all got to shine like that. As long as we represent lyrically, imagine a cipher with Biggie, Snoop, Tupac, Redman, MC8, a posse record like that. That's all we need to unify,
I'm saying, like, anybody who saw the show, remember that one part where Kid Creole was talking about what hip-hop is? He said it's holding the mic and crushing anybody who gets in your way. That's what hip-hop was, you know what I'm saying? And we wasn't into back in the day, and, it's like what I call the golden age of hip-hop, like the late 80s, man. You had Rakim, you had Chuck D, you had Big Daddy Kane. It's like everyone had their personal favorite, Slick Rick, whoever it may be, but it wasn't like, and even when I remember even when NWA came out, it wasn't like, oh, them corny kids from West Coast. I was like, yo, them kids is bad. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. So this whole thing now, it's just some other stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
But one point, I think it's just the East Coast, too, because remember Kane and Rakim? People were saying, yo, Rakim is better than Kane and Rakim. That's just our own personal thing. That's just, I think, a New York thing, you know? That's number one. We got to take care of that ourselves because, you know, I heard some beats like Wu-Tang and Biggie. You know, we got to crush all that nonsense up here before we could talk about, you know, solving the problems between East and West. You know, I respect everybody.
Raul, you're raising some good points. So what do you think? Will you listen to West Coast music?
I always have. I love Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, NWA's joints, Too Short. I respect West Coast as long as they got skills. To me, that's all that matters.
I mean, and it's like what
that makes the most sense.
And what you were saying, Lisa, about how rap music is a window for people to look in. It's a window for me. Those of us from New York, it's like before, like NWA came out straight out of Compton. I didn't even know I never heard of Compton. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a window. It's a way for us to communicate with each other. And I feel like now the communication has stopped, and that's why we have this beef going on.
Which may or may not be artificial. Raul, thanks a lot for the call. Let's go to Dave right now. Dave, how are you on Street Soldiers? What's up?
Yeah, big up Hot 97.
Okay, thanks. Big up.
Yeah, I gotta say, West Coast heads, they jealous of the East skills.
That's what it's about?
Yup. Because we got more skills. See, they heard Criminal Minded, and they bit the whole thing.
And you're saying they took it too far?
Yup. Because they're talking about gangster rap started in the West, but it started in the East. You got heads like G-Rap and Chris. They started it all.
Pudgy, what do you think about that? Boy, for the topic that everyone was talking about, as soon as we get in front of the microphones tonight, everyone's like a little bit on the quiet end.
No, I gotta say that. I mean, I don't think it's jealousy because, to me, skills are not just determined by what you say; is how you say it. Because we've had MCs like, as opposed to Rakim, and then you have Grand Poobah. Grand Poobah could say something finesse and it sound ill, and Rakim say something with mad skills. So, I mean, it's on a different level. I don't think it's that they're worried about our skills because their songs go platinum. So to them, they think they have skills.
And
they certainly have money.
Okay.
And I also got to say that Tupac is straight up fake because I peeped him with Digital Underground. He was peaceful type brother. But now, he wants to diss the East. See, he's riding the bandwagon for the loot.
You don't think it was that gold death row ring that he has, right?
I want to say something, though. You know, I think that, in all respect to you, brother, but I think when we start saying those kind of things, we're only adding to the problem, you know what I'm saying? You know, if that's what Tupac wants to do, let him do his thing, man, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, my thing is like, because everybody goes through their changes. I mean, all of us had high top fades at one point, was walking around African medallions, am I right or wrong? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
everybody goes through their changes and stuff like that. All I'm saying is like, how do we solve this problem, either if it's real or not, but it's obviously causing some hostilities, you know what I'm saying? When we start getting into stuff about, well, we got more skills than them and blah, 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 yeah, maybe, whatever, but the point is, it's possible that somebody can get killed or somebody can get killed out of this joint. How do we stop that, do we care, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Kevin, I think it's also a little bit different. You and your capacity as a writer for Vibe magazine, high-profile individual, fans are certainly, if they want to think somebody's fake or somebody's real or somebody's great, that's their right.
Well, all I'm saying is, like, when it gets to the point where, people start running up on video sets and shooting people up and stuff like that and all the stuff that's been flying around the last couple of months.
You're talking about the dog pound video?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
But wait, Lisa, I have to say this. He's saying mad fake, but what I'm saying is we all have different sides of us. I mean, we can wake up one day and be angry, and the next day be the happiest person in the world. So if Tupac didn't show us that side of him with Digital Underground, because they weren't about that.
It was a different thing.
It wasn't a gangster group.
Right.
So if he's down with them, he has to conform. That's what adapting is all about. So actually, he's talented.
You're saying that he's talented because he's versatile.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, and the fans, like we said, the fans are entitled to have their own opinion.
No doubt.
But
Dave, I want to thank you for
blatantly ignorant.
Okay, Dave, thanks a lot for the call. Let's go to David. Let's go to Damon right now. Maybe Tupac knew that's why he decided to stay on the West Coast. He knew what so many of our callers were going to be saying today. Let's go to Damon right now. Damon, how you on Street Soldiers? What's up?
How you doing?
Okay.
I like to say big up Hot 97.
Thank you.
And yo, Pudgy, your last album was fat, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. But yo, in my opinion, competition is, good part of rap. So even back to the days of MC Shan and BDP, it was good for rap to, battle each other because it made it creative. And, you know, but when it comes to violence, it gets, you know, productive in my opinion. That's my opinion. But as far as rap goes into violence and everything, our environment got harder. You know, rap started getting a little bit harder.
True about
That's
that
true.
too.
That's
You're right.
very true. That's a great point.
And the CDs and the tapes certainly didn't kill anybody. Damon, I want to thank you for the call, okay?
All right.
I got to cut you off because we're getting a little static here with the phone lines.
No doubt.
Sorry about that. Maybe you can call back again. Let's go to YSL from the Heavyweights. YSL, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
All right, peace. What's up?
Peace. How you doing? All right.
Okay.
Everything is good.
All right.
Okay.
What do you think about this East Coast, West Coast thing?
Well, I tell you, the main word is respect for the hip-hop culture. If you have no respect for the hip-hop culture, you either should get out of the game or correct yourself. Diversity is our strength. Everyone is going to be different. You know, there's different rappers out there, East Coast, West Coast rappers. I have respect for a little bit of the West Coast rappers that are out there who are really not into this situation of gun killing and stuff like that, because there are West Coast rappers out there that don't talk about gangbanging. What about them? Are you gonna try to get them too? And when you combine ignorance with hatred, you just got to kick a dynamite that's waiting to explode. So once you got to get rid of the ignorance and get rid of the hatred and go back to the way hip-hop used to be. You know, until we do that, there's always going to be a little bit of negativity in hip-hop. You just got to understand that when you coming up into the game, you have to understand to look at that and stay away, try to stay away from that, you know. I mean, that's something that's like a sign. If you want to get into that sign, then you must like face the consequences that's going to, you know, come to you.
Definitely. YSL, what do you think? Do you think that hip-hop artists should be role models to young people?
Well, I tell you, my interpretation, I feel that a role model should be like a parent or a teacher, someone who's close to you, someone who is who's known you for a couple of years or known you for like their lives, like a big brother, something like that. But unfortunately, hip hop artists, they fall into that more of that. They fall into that role model thing, you know. So I mean, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about because you have that right. But understand there's a balance. You have to put a little bit of good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're going to talk a little negativity, give a little positive. You know,
to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah, help it out. That way, if they, you know, the mothers and the fathers don't want the kids to hear the little negativity, you can show a positive side of you, too. There's nothing wrong with being positive, too. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. Kevin, let me ask you this. With the, in terms of the distribution, what's going to happen to Death Row now that they don't have the Time Warner for the distribution?
Well, I know the Dog Pound was distributed by Priority, and I know they're looking to get a deal with another label and stuff. I don't know if that's happened yet, you know, but I don't think they're going to have a problem just based on the amounts of money that they make, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know. And,
oh, man, shout out, Kev.
Huh?
What's up, Kev? How you doing?
What's up, Kev?
All right, brother.
All right. And I don't think that's going to be a problem, you know, but I don't even, you know, but the other thing that I think we need to keep in mind, I think this so-called gangster rap phase is kind of burning itself out, too, because even though the Dog Pound debuted at #1, the album fell down quick, unlike The Chronic and Doggy Style, which stayed up in the top 10 for a long time, you know. So I think, you know, in the midst of all this East Coast, West Coast talk, it's also clear that hip-hop is going through another, you know, growing pain or change or something, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going to be next, but, you know, I mean, and again, I think we all have, like the brother was saying, we have the right to express what's going on in our communities. We should, but, you know, there's a way that, even like if you listen to Criminal Minded, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, you know, I listened to the album back in 86, 87. I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like I got something out of it, too. It wasn't like this glorification, you know, and just saying stuff just to be saying it, you know what I mean? Because there's kids now saying stuff, they ain't never even been near a gun or near the hood. They don't even know the meaning sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you know, as far as the heavyweights is concerned, you know, the heavyweights, we're all about talking about that positive type, you know, rap without being corny. You know, we don't want to lose our audience. You know, we want to give a little change to the hip-hop community, and that's what we want to put into it, you know. Everybody's, all the other rappers, you know, I don't know basically, but all rappers who come in and just add on to the ignorance, they're not really helping. They're just making the fire bigger.
Making things worse. YSL, I want to thank you very much for the call, okay? I want to try and get in a few more calls in the last minutes here. Thanks a lot. Peace. Kevin, what about the, do you think, especially given the political climate that we're in now, that we may see more politically oriented type of rap coming out, like not necessarily what we saw with Public Enemy or heard with Public Enemy in Paris years ago, but of things commenting on the state of what's going on?
Well, I mean, I heard, you know, there's the Goody Mob coming out of Atlanta. I heard this song that Wu-Tang made that's coming on this Red Hot and Cool album about AIDS. That's the bomb, you know what I'm saying? So I think you know, like my man was saying, there's going to be some songs, there's going to be some artists putting out stuff that's going to be kind of a boundary. They'll still be talking about the community, but it's going to be some stuff that's questioning what's going on in society as well, you know. I think you'll see a lot more of that, you know. I do think, and I'm hoping you'll see a lot more of that, because we can't just keep putting out there, you know, this is what's going on, this is, you know, my community, but not offering any kind of solutions or whatever, you know.
Okay, Kevin?
Yeah.
Pugy just has to commend you.
Why, he jetted?
No, I said I have to commend you.
Oh, all right.
For the simple fact that you, writing for Vibe, you could really be narrow-minded and just give them the view from hell.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, really, you could give the East Coast view that they never wanted to read.
Right.
And, I mean, you're not indulging in inciting prejudice, because that's really what this is.
Yeah, but you gotta give him credit. He's from the East Coast, from New York, and he does the cover story on Death Row. That took guts.
Yeah.
Let's go, Pudgy, hang in there. Let's try and get a few more calls in here. Let's go to Kev right now. Kev, hi, you're on Street Soldiers. What's up?
Hey, what's up? I just called to make a comment about where this stuff really comes down to. And the stuff really comes down to is when you put people in the game like Suge, who aren't musical, who have nothing to do with hip-hop, and he just has strictly to do, he's a gangster. He's a straight-up drug dealer, moved up, muscled his way in. And this is real. And this is where Kev Clinton took it, where I read the article and where Suge got offended when he started bringing up things. This goes back to him doing the things he did to Andre Harrell. And it goes back to him inciting being jealous of Puffy. And don't get me, Puffy ain't 100% correct either as a black man.
Dang!
Then we have these black companies who aren't representing these hip-hop artists to the fullest. They jerking them on their sales. They jerking them on the amount of money they're supposed to give. That ain't correct. And you know what? When something not correct, something else corrects it. So that's what's going on.
Kev, that's the phrase for tonight. Wait a minute. Give that to us one more time.
He keeping it real.
When something's not correct, something else comes to correct it. Okay?
Go ahead, son.
That's keeping it real. And that's what it's real. I've been in hip-hop ever since I've been down in Bronx River to the Valley Park uptown. You know what I'm saying? I'm a representative of hip-hop. I'm here from when it began, and the East Coast rap is fat. You know what I'm saying? And the West Coast rap is fat, and it's all growing. But if certain people start closing it up, it's going to close down.
Yeah.
And this is our chance as a black community, not excluding whites or Puerto Ricans, but as a minority community, to get it on. And they said we can do it right. But now all we're showing is what people have shown for years and years and said for years and years. We can't get along.
And reinforcing some negative stereotypes.
Exactly.
Kev, you're making a good point too. It's an opportunity to lead the way.
Exactly. And none of these black executives are treating any of these hip hop artists right. I see too many broke. Too many I knew who blew up in the industry and now are broke.
Too many people with hit records broke.
Correct.
Too many people with hits broke.
Yeah.
No, you're raising some very good points.
It's a really good point. I mean, because what he's really saying, the essence of hip-hop, I mean, I would not be a journalist if it wasn't for hip-hop, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
My job came about because of hip-hop culture, so I have to respect the culture, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of kids out here, they have no respect for the culture, man. It's all about self.
I'm a corporate executive who still love hip-hop to the fullest.
Right.
I ain't never left it in my heart.
Right.
But what they're doing now is killing it.
Yeah.
And you need to take all these gangsters out of the game and shove them out. And take all these bad business people out of the game and shove them out.
Utopia, huh?
No, just honest business people. Doesn't matter if they're cheating you what color they are. You're still out of the money.
Exactly.
Kev, thanks a lot for the call, okay?
No problem.
All right, peace. Hang in there. Okay, let's go to Zedric right now. Is it Zedric?
Yes.
Okay, Zedric, thanks for calling Street Soldiers. What's up?
Hi. Big up to Kev, you, Lisa, and Pugy.
Thank you.
I got something that's been troubling me for quite a while. You see, I've been down since brothers was robbing electricity inside the park. Now, I'm here on Long Island, right? Okay, and I've been following this thing. You know, brothers got to respect the culture. Now, what I propose that the two warring sides sit down, try to work out their differences, and come up with a bomb track. Or I propose something else. Now check this. You know, Biggie, Snoop, do a track. Let me and my partner produce it. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been trying to get into this game for a while. And the things that I'm seeing.
And then you can bring them both here to our microphones and we'll interview them, okay? And the fans can talk to them.
Hey, you could do that next week. I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? We can do this. Brothers need to respect the culture, because what Suge Knight is doing, that brother is on something new. You know, I think he running death row like a criminal enterprise.
I think that's been said before. I don't know if it's necessarily been said on Hot 97, but I think that's been said before.
No, but folks really need to check if, you know, the premier #1 newspaper in America, the New York Times,
magazine,
a highly prestigious magazine, had them brothers on the cover last Sunday, Damon.
Yes, they did. I'm glad you brought that up.
Heads need to check that.
That was amazing.
Suge Knight is on something that's very next.
On the cover of New York Times Magazine, January 14th, the godfather of gangster rap and his family values.
You know, you talk about family values. You know, I'm not dissing them brothers. Them brothers are doing their thing. But sometimes it ain't all about money.
Right.
It's the respect factor.
No,
you know
and you're absolutely. And let's not forget too the gang culture that still exists in Los Angeles in a very, very big way.
Lisa, brothers ain't on no gang type thing over here inside the East. If they gonna see somebody, they gonna fight. They gonna fight you straight up and head up.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that whole culture.
That's not true.
Brothers ain't got no time for that, to be running around with 20, 30 people to roll up on one brother.
When's the last time you was at the tunnel?
They do, but not at the not in the same way in terms of the organization over and over. Not in terms of exactly the same way.
Well,
Cedric, but you're raising.
Biggie, Tupac, whoever, Posse Cut, let me and my man produce the track. We got bomb, straight up fat hip hop tracks. Let us do it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Cedric, and we got no time, straight up, okay? Peace. Thank you very much. Peace. Okay, Pugy, final word. We got about 1 minute.
I just want to say that this was all a joke.
I'm glad they was talking, Pugy.
Oh, man, that was too much.
Oh, man.
Do we have the greatest callers or what? Do we have the greatest audience or what?
Let them do all the talking.
Exactly.
Kev, let's band together and become the gang that likes both coasts.
Word.
Yeah, let's not forget, there's other groups coming out of other places, too, like Cleveland and Atlanta and Richmond. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for being with us. Pudgy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. Kevin Powell from Vibe Magazine. Check out his cover story, Vibe Magazine, live from Death Row, February issue. And also in that same issue, there's an article, Nation of Islam, A House Divided, by writer Peter Noel, who you've heard here on Street Soldiers. He's the one that reported for us from the Million Man March. Kevin,
what's a fat article on breakdancing, so we can go back to the essence of it.
Exactly. You can get it all right there in the February Vibe. Kevin, thanks a lot for being with us. I appreciate it. Pudgy, take care. Thank you very much for being with us. And thank you to our special guest, Frank Middleton from the Boogie Down, representing